one man to beat. He cuts back inside. He's going for a touchdown. Yes, on the board. Got it. And that is a touchdown, Rowlett. Back, he's headed towards the end zone. Touchdown.
From Williams Stadium in Garland, Texas, a very pleasant good evening, and welcome to our Garland ISD Friday night game of the week here on GRS TV. Hi again, everybody. Scott Powell alongside Scott Garner tonight, and we've got hopefully a good one for you as undefeated Garland Naaman Forest at 4-0 takes on the winless Garland Owls. But Scott, they say there's 3 seasons to a high school football season. Number 2 starts tonight, and as far as Garland's concerned, they're 0-0 going into this one tonight.
No doubt about it. These two teams know how important this game is. It's the first game of district play. You can wipe the slate clean. Naaman Forest doesn't want to do it, though. They come into the ballgame 4-0, Garland 0-4, and Danny Russell and the Garland Owls have their work cut out. They're gonna run the flex bone, and they're having to do this because they've sustained so many injuries, Scott. There was a game earlier this year where they had to play without 9 starters. So Garland's they're in a tough spot right now. They're having to do some things they're not really accustomed to doing. And this Naaman Forest team, led by Marvin Sedbury Jr., is absolutely fantastic. You know, a couple of years ago, as we get a shot at him, a couple of years ago, this team was 0-10 and followed up his first season here that was 1-9, but they were 5-6 last year, and they are 4-0 going into district play. I don't even know that the coaching staff expected this.
If you've heard that voice before, you've listened to SMU Radio Football, as Scott Garner is the color voice, along with play-by-play man Rich Phillips on SMU Radio, and we're glad to have him tonight. And Scott, I look forward to it, and you're a legend in these parts.
I don't know about that. This is going to be a great football game, though, and I'm anxious to see how these two teams approach it.
Naaman Forest will take the opening kickoff in their orange jerseys with green trim, orange and green helmets. Pretty good return by Jason Iemi on the opening kickoff, and Naaman will start at their own 38. They've got the white pants and those orange jerseys. Garland, by the way, Naaman Forest is the home team. Garland in their home white tops, black pants, and that gold and black trim. Very traditional Garland Owl uniforms tonight. Naaman Forest offensively averages 29 points and 384 yards a game. That's 7th best in the Metroplex in total yardage. They're 4th in the Metro in rushing at 246 a ball game, while Garland has struggled at times defensively this year, giving up 29 points and 371 yards a game. So that'll be an interesting fight there. On 1st and 10, tight formation except for one wide receiver to the left for quarterback Thomas Gutierrez, and he's going to go deep on the flea flicker, wide open. He just barely missed his intended receiver. I love the play call. Jalen Dickerson would have gone the distance, but pass a little overthrown.
Well, the last thing you expect a wing T team to do is to come out and run the flea flicker. They do it then. Watch the poise here. Nice job by Gutierrez to step into this throw, but a little bit too much. Good job by Dickerson. He was sprinting up the seam, couldn't quite get there, but Thomas Gutierrez, very smart, comes in 27 of 40. He's thrown for almost 550 yards. Hey, that's not bad for a wing T team.
20 yards of completion. I like the lack of mistakes. 8 touchdowns and no interceptions. 20 of completion. How about 67% completions? On 2nd and 10, a little movement in that defensive line. No flags. Handoff, good hole across the 50. A first down run by Tyreek James, the leading back on this Naaman Forest team. He's finally going to be stopped at the 47 of Garland. Pretty big hole over the left side of that line.
And you can see why they list Tyreek James as a fullback. This guy right here, he will get his shoulders square to the line of scrimmage, and love how he protects the football when he gets into traffic. He would not go down. They teach you to keep those legs going. He probably does it about as well as anybody in this district.
James, the leading rusher, 494 on the year, 121 a ball game, and 6 touchdowns. So, boy, they've got the passing and the rushing game. They're off to a good start here. 1st and 10 at the Garland 47. Looks over a 5-man front. Handoff, huge hole up the middle. Fighting for that first down is James. He's got it, plus a couple more to the Garland 35. A quick 12 there after the 15-yard gain a moment ago.
When you come into a game and cognitive league, you probably have the advantage over your opponent. Watch how they use misdirection here to get the linebackers flowing. There was not a linebacker in sight. They've got to be run fitting at the point of attack. So not only is Naaman Forest big, they're also very deceptive.
Sheldrick Davis made the first hit, but not before he got 12. James will be the lone back here, although there's two backs this time. The other one is Donovan Lee. He's the second leading rusher on the ball club. Pitch to Lee. Going to cut it up the middle. Breaks a little grab by a defender and gets a little bit to the 32. That'll be a gain of 3. He was slowed down on a grab of the jersey in the backfield, so it could have been a lot worse than a 3-yard gain.
Yeah, see Evan Gonzalez right there, really smart linebacker. He's pretty perceptive. He'll make some plays. Big number 25 there for Garland. Look at it again here. They pull the backside guard. He's got a lead block that actually kind of slows him down a little bit. He was trying to follow Gutierrez right there in that hole, and I thought he did a good job of playing peekaboo behind him. But this Naaman Forest team, love how they've come out on their opening drive, and they have really dictated the tempo here.
New back here is Negron along with James, and handoff to James. He's in trouble in the backfield. This is going to go for a 1-yard loss. Good surge there. Garland loading the box here early, but watch out. They'll go deep on you any minute.
Well, that's what you expect. I mean, that's what Garland has to do. They come in 0-4. They have been decimated with injuries and already an owl on the turf here. But you get a look here. This is the same play to the other side. This is nothing fancy. If you talk to Mike Gundy and the OSU staff,
which you have, Scott Garner, I'm sure.
Oh, when you talk to that staff, they'll tell you they don't do anything that's really complex. And somebody asked him the other day, they said, Mike, how many plays do you guys have in the playbook? And most teams have about 80 or 90. He said we run about 15 plays. And you're not going to see Naaman Forest get real tricky here. This is nothing special. They're just running power here on one side or the other, and they're just trying to stick it to Garland here on the opening drive.
You know, you mentioned Naaman Forest in the opening. They've come out of nowhere. This used to be a really good program under Bill Patterson. Then he left, and they went through some hard times. They went on a 1-19 run for a stretch there, and then they hired Marvin Sedbury Jr., and he has completely turned it around. They made it back to the playoffs last year, and they got a chance to contend for district or at least second or third place this year.
Well, the name Sedbury around these parts is not uncommon. You know, his dad, a longtime high school football coach. In fact, Marvin Sedbury Jr.'s dad was a great coach out there in East Texas with the Greenville Lions for a long, long time. And his dad, Marvin Jr. said, hey, Daddy comes to every game, and he's going to let me know about it.
3rd and 8. Garland needs the 25, Naaman Forest needs the 25, although it's probably 4-down territory. It'd be about a 50-yard field goal from here. Got plenty of time. Play clock has just been started, so they're moving some people around. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Another handoff up the middle. Pretty good hole, but it is stacked up just short of the first down. That was James again. Tyreek got within 2 of the first down. 4th and 2. If you go, you need 2. If you try the field goal, it'd be about a 44-yarder.
They may not have a chance here because the umpire pulled his flag out. I think we might have had a hold from the center there, it looked like.
There are those good young eyes there of Scott Garner. I missed that flag.
The way that
I'm not stupid, Scott. When I find people to work with me, I usually find younger people who have better eyes than I do. And I'm using binoculars, by the way.
It's interesting as you see the head referee there, Mike Drybread. You see him talk.
I like my bread dry, believe me.
you see, the longer he talks, the less likely it's a common foul here.
Mike is a legend in these parts, and here he is.
Chop block, offense, 60 and 52. That's a 15-yard penalty.
Well, what happened there in the middle is he's ended
after
up
the play.
Yeah, so he's going to get the gain.
Unsportsmanlike conduct. Defense. It's a 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Phillips and Fauline there in the middle of the line there. We'll get a second look at it, but they got called for a chop block. When one guy's blocking somebody above the waist, someone else on your own team can't come below the waist and double team him. That's definitely a chop block. It's easy to do, though, in teams that run this phone booth style offense, this wing tee, this flex that we're going to see tonight. They have a tendency to commit fouls like that. It's a little bit easier to do that. You got to be very cognizant of what's going on with the guy next to you.
You know, it's not easy to lose yardage and get a first down, but Naaman Forrest just accomplished that after the unsportsmanlike 15-yarder. Gutierrez, a little play-action roll. Going to go deep, one-on-one coverage up in the air. Looks like it's picked off. Yes, it is, by Trent Smith, who had the good coverage. Ball a little bit underthrown.
Boy, Trent Smith did a great job of getting terrific positioning. It was a little underthrown, but it was a well-run corner route. I thought Gutierrez might have taken one too many steps here. He tries to turn, get his shoulders square, as you can see there. Tried to throw it to the flag, a little bit underthrown, but a great read there by Trenton Smith. He's a 5'7", 150-pound senior corner, and he goes over there to grab it.
Garland now is their first possession. They have struggled offensively, only averaging 9 points, 152 on the ground, 212 overall. That's a big reason for their 0-4 start. And they're going against a Naaman defense that's number 2 in scoring in the area at 6.5, number 6 in total defense at 194 a game. That's a bad matchup for the Garland Owls.
I'm looking there at Isidore, that two technique on the left side. He is a monster there. He'll clog it up.
And he is committed. I've got that. I'll look in my notes here. He's already committed to college, and a pretty good one. Here's a gain of 1 on
Houston.
1st and 10.
He's committed to Houston.
There you go.
It's a great program down there.
Scott Garner did his homework, obviously.
Well, you talk about that big defensive tackle. He's moved there, but he runs a 4.8 40 from that tackle spot. They kind of run away. If he gets blocked, he kind of got washed down there, being number 73 in the orange shirt. They try to go to the middle there and only get 1.
Montana Miller, the lone back, a fake handoff, and keeping it is Garcia, and he runs into a wall. Nothing doing, no gain on that play. The big center of the line, Iemi at defensive end, was there, but also number 73 in on the play there. That was Isidore again.
Yeah, it's a really tough spot. In fact, I saw Coach Sedberry one time. We talked about Marvin Sedberry here as they try to run the read option. And there's that big number 73 we were just talking about. Isidore is an absolute monster in the middle. He's got 9 Division I offers. He's orally committed to go to Houston. Tom Herman just left that program. He's now taken over the Texas Longhorns as their head coach. They got a big win last night on the road at Iowa State.
Any win at the University of Texas is a big win,
that's
as
true.
Mac Brown would tell you.
Yeah.
They used to ask Mac Brown, how big is this game? He said every game is the most important game at the University of Texas. We got a timeout. Let's take our first break. 7:20 left first quarter. We're scoreless between Garland and Naaman Forrest here on GRS TV. The two Scotts are back with you. Scott Powell, Scott Garner from Williams Stadium. We got a 3rd and 10. Garland at their own 1-yard line. They got to punt this out of the end zone if they don't get the first down. Montana Miller moved early, but they're going to call the play dead because of Miller's movement, number 22 in the backfield.
Offense,
Yeah,
number 14. That's half the distance to the goal. Still 3rd down.
Yeah,
I've just seen my first half-yard penalty of the season.
Yeah, Davion Jones is the guy that they got. You call the running back. The wide receiver also moved early here. I've seen coaches line up and punt on 3rd down right here.
I'd try a quick kick. Nobody's back. I think it's a great idea. Garcia and shotgun, he's just going to keep it and look for some daylight, and he doesn't find much. He got a yard out to the 2, and now that punter is going to be deep in his end zone on 4th down and 9. Very conservative, but I guess I would be too from my own 1-yard line.
You know, they want to try to shorten this game as much as possible. When you have been just plastered with the amount of injuries and nicks and bruises that Garland has. You're doing everything you can just to try to make a couple of plays and cut down the number of possessions that your opponent gets.
Jose Marino is the punter. Don't step back, Jose. He steps forward and gets his foot into it. Not a bad kick, but returnable at the 36. And going up the far sideline, breaks a tackle to the 10, may score, no, down at the 1-yard line. And that was Davicia McCartney on the return. He's a 3-year starter, also at wide receiver. We're going to see him on the offense for Naaman Forest tonight.
Well, Marvin Sedbury Jr. calls him a baller. And you can see he puts his foot in the ground, finds the edge in a hurry, and nobody contained on the outside. I can't believe he didn't score. But the one thing that I've noticed just by watching Naaman Forest, look at Big 73 there in the middle, but just by watching this team, they are big, they are fast, they are strong, they're well coached, and that's one of the reasons why they're 4-0. It's no fluke they come in here undefeated.
So far they're dominating, especially the field position. First and goal at the 2-yard line. And look who's in the backfield. Isidore as the running back. Can have a couple of blockers in front. They just load the backfield with linemen. Gutierrez hands it. Isidore dives, touchdown, Naaman Forest. That was too easy.
Hey, the 86 Bears used to hand it to a D tackle on the goal line like that.
You're showing your age, Scott.
Tell you what, hey, Isidore, speaking of age, he'll be around for the ages if he keeps doing this. I mean, this guy, he's got speed. You know, he used to be a running back, and he's a little bit disappointed. They don't hand him the ball more, but they give it to him, and nobody there in front. It was easy.
Needless to say, he's got the body lean for the play, doesn't he?
Yes, he does.
Here comes the extra point. And this is Eric Roque, and it's up just inside the right upright good. There's a timeout on the field, 6:22 left in our first quarter. Naaman Forest scratches first. They lead Garland 7-0 on GRS TV. Well, can you call one play 2 yards a drive? Well, if you can, Naaman Forest just did it, and they lead 7-0. Here's the kickoff. Going to be a short little pooch pop-up, and fair caught by Chandler Henderson of Garland. And the Owls will scrimmage. Boy, this has to look like Broadway at their own 33 compared to their own 1.
I was going to say, Danny Russell's squad can at least breathe now. I mean, they're going to get it decent field position. They're already down those 7-zip.
Gosh, they can open it up now, Scott, and hand it off.
That's right. You know,
going to put it at the 31, by the way.
They've got a bevy of backs that they can use here. Again, they're going to use what's called a flex bone.
Angel Garcia, the quarterback in shotgun, has the snap, fakes one way, hands the other way, and turning it and cutting it up. Pretty good gain there by Sheldrick Davis. Looked like he was not going to get anything, but he turned it up, cut it up, and got to the 36 for a gain of 5.
Look at Sheldrick Davis here. I love how he is able to dodge the penetration. I'm sure they have really scouted Nico Isidore for all of his athleticism that he brings to this team, and he was able to dodge him about 3 yards deep in the backfield.
Isidore probably shows up on every play when you're watching it. Here's a quick out pass caught by Davis, breaks one tackle, heads up the sideline, got a little bit out of nothing. Looked like he'd be stopped for a loss and broke loose. They're going to mark him out of bounds at the 38-yard line. It'll be about 3 yards short.
Now, Sheldrick Davis is a senior, and that time, as you saw on the replay, the quarterback actually got bumped into. It was almost a lateral. You know, if he doesn't catch that ball, it may be a fumble.
Good point. That might have been a little bit backward. 3rd and 3. They're going to have to punt it away if they can't get the first down here at their own 38. Garcia hands it up the middle, chopped down immediately. The hole was there, and it closed in a hurry because of the tackle by Jordan Bowes, a linebacker up the middle, and they're a yard short of the first down.
You know, they have everyone within about 9 yards of the line of scrimmage right here. That time, I thought it was a really good block there by the right guard to just get up and underneath his guy and get a hole. And Garland's going to go ahead and go for it here.
Interesting, from their own 40-yard line, down 7-0. That tells me they're the underdog, and they probably know it. Here in the early go, Montana Miller's the running back. He takes the handoff, slides up the middle, and he dove for it, and I think he's got it. Yeah, they're going to say first down. That's just pure effort by Miller. There wasn't much there.
You know, it's effort, and that's the one thing that Danny Russell says this team does not lack. The heart that it's going to take to try to build something coming up here in district play. They wanted to move the football, and they wanted to move the chains on third down. That time, they had to do it on fourth.
Pretty interesting call on 4th and 2 in your own 4th and 1 in your own territory, but they got it, had the confidence. And they got some big backs in there, short but powerful running backs, little bowling balls, I call Montana Miller. Little swing pass to Davis out of the backfield. He catches in and gets a good gain on first down. Across the 45 to the 46, that's 4 yards.
That's a pretty creative play.
Really was.
And I really like how Angel Garcia, who is the third quarterback, he's the number 3 quarterback now. They've lost their first 2 quarterbacks, but hey, he seems to be functioning almost effortlessly. This is a guy that was out for about a year. He's a great kid. He throws okay, but they're not going to really challenge this Naaman Forest team vertically that much tonight.
Yeah, it's going to be all short stuff, running it and throwing the short passes. Jabari Ellis started the first 2 games, was supposed to be the quarterback, and he went out with an injury. I don't know if he'll make it back or not. Hand off a broken tackle to midfield. That's going to be a little short of the first down, but it's going to get them within 2, and my goodness, we already found out they'll go for it on 4th down anywhere anyway.
Hey, not just a broken tackle, but he broke the arm of Isidore. Isidore had his ankle just for a moment. You'll see big 73 there. He got away from it just for a moment, had the ankle, but he was able to keep that low center of gravity, and finally brought down there by Brown, that sophomore linebacker.
Austin Clemens was the carry. You ever seen a better pair of bowling ball-looking running backs than Montana Miller and Austin Clemens? They're both on either side of Garcia, who drops the ball, does fall on it, but that's going to be a loss. Back to the 44 and bring up a 4th and longer.
You know, sometimes when the defensive tackles are doing their job, it doesn't show up in the stats. And that time, the young quarterback, Garcia, got a little bit anxious and trying to pull the ball out of Clemens' belly and to hand off to the other fullback, and there's Isidore right there on the spot. But sometimes you get a little anxious when that penetration is so consistent.
They're going to punt this one away after going for it on 4th and 1 at their own 40 a moment ago. Moreno with his second punt of the night, if they punt it.
You know, you can go for it on 4th and 2.
He only punted it 21 yards his first time. This is a good-looking one, little end over end, going to very directional toward the far sideline. Let's see where they mark it out. The head linesman is walking it off, and he'll be told when to stop by the referee, and he's told at the 29-yard line. That's a 26-yard punt, but pretty effective.
And Devontae McCartney, who was the lone Ranger back there deep to receive, a little bit, I think, frustrated that ball wasn't kicked to him. He was ready to rip off yet another big return.
They'll mark it at the 30. We're 2:24 left in the first quarter. Naaman Forest leading 7-0. Their third possession coming here. Their first possession, they threw an interception and then scored on the second one. Split backfield behind Gutierrez. Deep handoff James. Good hole over left tackle. Fighting for more. He's already got 5 or 6. He stretches it out to 8 to the 38. Good gain on first down.
Typically the stronger side of most offensive lines is that left side. Most teams are right-handed because most quarterbacks are right-handed. But that time they go behind that left tackle, and you watch the left side of that offensive line. A great down block there in the middle of the line by Jason Ahimi, the senior, and does a really good job. He's a starting tight end as well, but he can line up at really anywhere on that line.
Lonzo Fennell led the way on the tackle, although several Owls in on the stop. We got a wide receiver to the right, otherwise a tight formation on 2nd and 2. Simple give. James fighting for that first down. Let's see what the forward progress is before he's driven back. They're going to give him right at the 40, and they're calling it a first down. Gain of 2.
Scott, you may see more runs in this first quarter than most halves of high school football see. These two teams don't throw it much.
One of the tacklers there was Evan Gonzalez, along with Dion Walls for the Owls. Good run defense there, but they did give up the 1st and 10, fresh set of downs for Naaman Forest. Another give right up the middle. This is James fighting for everything he can get. There wasn't much there, but he did stretch it out with the body lean to the 44, a gain of 4.
Boy, this offensive line from the middle to the left side, if there's a better one, except for maybe the top team of the district, if there's a better one, I'd love to see it. Just a great block there right in the middle by his center, Alan Phillips. Just a great, just absolutely pancaked his man.
Little misdirection. Gutierrez spun around before he handed it to James. 2nd down and 6 at the 44. Naaman with 2 receivers right, 1 left. Quick out pass on the screen. Caught by Adams, broke 1 tackle, dove toward the 1st down. Do we have a fumble? It looked like it might have been a late fumble. Let's see what the officials say.
Late fumble. It looked like Naaman was able to hop back down on it.
They did, but that was a live ball and called a fumble from Adams after he caught it.
You know, Adams caught it, tackled, fell on top of the guy, so he wasn't down at that point. You get a good look at it here. Just a quick toss on the screen, just a little bubble screen. Gets a decent block, but then he falls down on the guy that made the tackle, and that play's still live.
Absolutely. It looked like he was down, but he was on the back, or his back was on a defender. And you got to hit the ground, not just a defender, before you're officially down. That's going to do it for the first quarter. Naaman Forest leading Garland 7-0. Come back for the second quarter here on GRS TV. Naaman Forest coming out for their first play of the second quarter. Through 1, the Rangers lead at 7-0. Undefeated Naaman Forest against winless Garland in this district opener tonight. Gutierrez now under center, leaves the shotgun, hands it to James, who cuts it up, runs into a defender at the 45, fights forward to the 44.
Nice G block right there by the left guard, Mason Faline. You'll see him, number 52, on the left side of the line. This bevy of running backs for Naaman Forest, that's got to be one of their best friends. You saw him right there, number 52, blow that thing open. Nice run, too, by Tyreek James. Tailback with speed, but he also has really strong legs.
Another tackle for Evan Gonzalez. He's been in on almost every stop so far for the Garland Owls.
And you talked about how perceptive he is. He's a playmaker, too.
Watch for number 25. He's in on every play. Play action fake, going to go deep down the middle. Again, an open receiver, but the pass was too far. Second time tonight they could have had 6 on a long pass. That one intended for McCartney, their leading receiver.
Gutierrez just trying to stretch the Garland defense out there, just trying to go up the seam. That's a different throw than what you see from a lot of teams. Maybe not necessarily teams within this district, but certainly most every 6A team, when they go up the seam, they're doing it for a purpose, to hit the big play. That right there isn't necessarily to hit the big play, but it's more to try to loosen up those linebackers who are creeping up maybe a step or two tighter than they normally would.
Scott, first chance we get since we just started the second quarter, why don't we find some interesting numbers from the first quarter, if there are any, on the stat sheet. Here's a handoff. It's going to be enough for the first down to the 39-yard line. Again, Tyreek James has been the workhorse here early on in this one.
Well, I was going to say, sorry, Scott, he's averaging almost 10 yards per carry. That was his 8th attempt for almost 80 yards.
Fennell and Holcomb made the stop. Again, it's James, and you got a defender just hanging on to the jersey, but he just surges forward and gets another first down at the 25-yard line.
You know, he's not real big, but again, he runs about a 4.640. Look at him hit that hole. Great vision. He just has great periphery where he just covers up the ball as soon as he's about to get hit.
Gutierrez with a quick out pass gets a block, but not the second defender who comes in and makes the tackle on McCartney after a 3-yard gain to the 22.
Talked about Evan Gonzalez. You talked about number 25. And we mentioned the UT Longhorns a minute ago. You know, you talked about Mac Brown and his staff when he was down there at Texas. That was one of their that was probably their defensive credo, is that we want 9 guys within 5 yards of the ball 90% of the time. And you can say that, but to actually do it, to do what number 25 for Garland's doing, is very, very difficult to do.
On 2nd down and 7, a little wingback reverse. Pretty good yardage as he hits the near sideline before he's knocked out of bounds. And on the carry that time was Jalen Dickerson, a wingback who came in motion and took the handoff, got the first down. That's 3 first downs in the last 4 plays for Naaman Forest. They are clicking.
Watch number 6 here in your screen. He gets a great kick-out block right there, just on the right side.
Simple dive handoff to James, good yardage, but a penalty marker, a flag flew as the play started. I hate to jinx it, but we haven't had a lot of penalties so far, Scott.
Yeah. Pretty cleanly played game so far.
There is no flag on the play. There is no flag.
Got a little bit cleaner.
I guess they threw it just to see if they could get it out of their pocket there. Turn your mic off, Mr. Dry Bread. Yes, folks, his name is Dry Bread.
You know,
just the way it sounds.
I read your paper earlier and I thought, are you sure that's the guy's name?
Oh, I just made it up, yeah. Mike Drybread. He does a lot of games here in the Garland ISD. We're going to have a timeout. I think Naaman Forest wants to talk about it. 9:23, let's take a break. 9:23 first quarter. Naaman Forest leads Garland 7-0, but the Rangers are driving for more here on GRS TV.
Reset the game clock to 9.
Back to play here at Williams. A 2nd and 4 from the 5 for Naaman Forest. A little toss to James, but he'll cut it up and score. Stepped around a couple of tacklers, found an opening, and gives Naaman Forest their 13th point.
And he looks like he's going through the ropes down there, working on the footwork
the tires,
drills. Yeah, the tires
too.
Yeah.
Good point.
He goes right, then left, puts the foot in the ground, a little leap at the end. Nice job right there.
What a drive. 12 plays, 70 yards. Naaman Forest went, started all the way back at their 30-yard line and used close to 5 minutes off the clock. Extra point is pending. Eric Roque, the kick is high, deep, and accurate. Timeout on the field. 9:19, second quarter. Naaman Forest increases their lead to 14-0 over Garland. Come back for more here on GRS TV. Well, a nice scoring drive for Naaman Forest, 70 yards, 12 plays, and now they'll kick it off. That was Tyreek James on the sideline after his scoring run of 5 yards. Looked like that kickoff hit an owl, but it's recovered and returned by, that's Duncan on the return, and he goes backward all the way back to the 24-yard line.
You can understand a step or two going backwards, but
Yeah.
not 15 yards.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they're going to let him know about it.
Yeah, you're supposed to return a kickoff straight ahead. Or at least get your blocking in front of you and angle it toward the, he thought, he tried to angle it toward the other sideline, but nobody was there to block for him. Here come the Owls, who have struggled offensively in this one. Only 1 first down and 19 total yards compared to 120 for Naaman Forest. 9 rushing attempts for 15 yards for Garland. Just not much working, and they've got a tight formation here. A couple of fakes and a handoff, and down for a big loss. There's that man Isidore, and he got some help from got the wrong roster there. That's Darum Negrin helping out Isidore in the backfield.
Boy,
and you can see what happened.
And they are just teeing off right now. Isidore's teeing off, and we talked about Negrin. You mentioned him. They've got to find a way to put a hat on those two guys, because if they continue to get penetration right in the middle, it's going to be a really long night for this Garland team.
Loss of 2. Fennell's first carry. Alonzo Fennell. They're trying different backs, see if that might work. Actually, a loss of 3. It's 2nd and 13. 3 receivers out here to the left, the near side of the field. Long count by Garcia and shotgun. He just immediately had nowhere to go with it. Might have been a quarterback draw. At least he reacted that way. I think he just ran for his life.
Yeah, I think that it was either a busted play or a draw, just like you said. The one problem that Danny Russell has right now is we got to look at it. It looked like a busted play. That was supposed to be a read left, but instead he said, uh-oh, where's my guy? And he had to just take it and go into the line there. But the one problem that Coach Russell has is the fact that he's got to try to throw the football to loosen up this Naaman Forest defense, but he's got his 3rd-string quarterback.
And he's got bad field position.
That's it.
Yeah, Naaman's winning the field position battle. Also, Garcia throws here. It's picked off and returned, and this is going to go the distance. And on the touchdown return is Jordan Bowes, about 25 yards.
Well, that was just an accident waiting to happen. There's your 3rd-string quarterback right there. Big pressure. And I thought the way that penetration was coming that they were setting up a middle screen. And that was just easy pickings right there for Naaman Forest as they get the pick 6 to make it a 3-score game.
And Roque will try his 3rd PAT out of the hold of Gutierrez, trying to make it 21-0. Naaman is rolling right now. Undefeated Naaman against winless Garland. The kick a little lower, but still accurate and good. Timeout on the field. 7:35 left in our first half. Naaman Forest now leads at 21-0 over the Garland Owls here on GRS TV.
You know, you think you want to be a football coach and you think you know a lot about football. It is tough to do it when you're 0-4 and with bad field position.
Jordan Bowes has just made it a 21-0 Naaman Forest lead with a 25-yard interception return. Rangers will kick it off. Just a low line drive kick that's going to be picked up at the 12 and returned and hit down after a short return of 12 yards. Boy, nothing's working for the Garland Owls right now. That kick returned by Davian Jones. We do have a penalty marker. What do we have, a clip possibly? Legal block against Garland, or what is this, Scott?
Not certain. We'll have to wait and see on it, but I was going to say, you know, if you think you love football and it's easy to call plays.
On the return, block in the back. The return team, number 32, 10-yard penalty from the end of the run. First down.
You think it's easy to call plays? Try doing it when your team is 0-4, you're down to your third-string quarterback, you don't have any field position, and you're playing these monsters up front like Naaman Forrest. The last job anybody wants right now is Brandon Doty's job, the offensive coordinator, to try to call plays in a situation like this. It is very hard.
Here's where Garland started their possessions. They're 1, they're 31, they're 24, and now they're 14. And Garcia is dropped for a big loss. Nope, that was not Garcia. That was the back Alonzo Fennell. His first game back in a couple of games. You get a chance to look at him some tonight. He's had a knee contusion. He's had some knee problems this year. But he's back, and he's trying to get back into it. So, again, this Garland team just trying to overcome injuries, trying to get it rolling here. They're going to need a couple of more weeks to just try to iron some things out to get some players back. You know, we mentioned it in the pregame. The biggest mismatch is Garland's offense against Naaman's defense. Naaman highly ranked defensively, and Garland has struggled big time on the year, just averaging 9 first downs. And here's a short carry, although for a yard to the 10-yard line. Tried to spin out of it was Clemens, but he only got a yard.
You know, great defenses start up front.
Oh, the defensive line. It's no contest, is it?
It's no contest. We talked about Lawrence, number 74. We've also mentioned Isidore. Those are really good. If there are 2 tackles that are better than those 2 combined, I'd love to see them.
Saxey. Wait till they play Saxey.
They're stronger than this line.
Yeah, they're pretty good. It'll be at least the equivalent. Wait till you see Saxey. Scott, you might see him next Friday night. Here's a pass on the roll, and it was hit as he threw. We've also got the penalty marker right where Garcia was hit, and this might be some kind of illegal hit on the quarterback. He just threw a wounded duck, and it is going to be roughing the quarterback. It's going to give Garland just their second first down on penalty here.
Get a look at it here. I thought maybe the QB might have gotten hit in the head. I thought Garcia might have taken a shot.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, number 44. First down.
You know, he came high and
that was probably it.
Right above the face mask there. I don't think it was a late hit. Coach Sedber, he's not disputing the call. He's a little bit upset with his defense here.
Yeah.
That, when you've got a team backed up inside their own red zone, to let them get away with that, let them off the hook, it's not good.
Of course, as I like to say, 30 years ago, there was nothing wrong with that play. But
true.
Times have changed and are still changing in a lot of areas, including the pregame national anthem. Here's a halfback pass deep downfield. Tipped and knocked away. Garland got their hands on it. The shortest receiver was Davian Jones. Looked like he almost caught it, and then it ricocheted off of somebody else's hand. I think our replay is going to tell us a lot about what happened here.
Well, you take a look at the replay here. It actually, I believe it hit 2 different receivers' hands, just kind of a double pass here, if you will.
Yeah, there's Jones.
There's the other.
Yeah, they had 2 chances to catch that. There were 2 defenders in the area, too, but just a long incompletion, 2nd and 10, as they tried a little flea flicker there.
Jones, a young guy. He's a junior, but he can run out there, and they ran it up vertically on the right sideline. You don't see that often with Garland.
2nd and 10 Owls. Garcia rides the back, finally hands it off on the fullback dive, and nothing doing. No gain, and guess who? We'll just say Isidore is in on every tackle until we tell you otherwise. How's that? And also Jason Naimi was there from the defensive end.
Oh, they are fantastic, and that offensive line, they knew they were going to have their work cut out for them. As this game goes on, they seem to get better and better. Usually it's the offensive line that wears the defense out. Tonight, the inverse is true.
3rd and 10 coming, 14 carries and 10 yards so far for the Garland running attack. They've only got 14 yards and now 2 first downs because of that penalty. 3rd and 10, they don't get it here. They're going to have to punt it away, and Garcia is sacked. Looked like he was going to take off on a run, and I'll just say it right now. I mentioned it. Isidore is there again.
May have 20 tackles tonight.
If he plays enough, I have a feeling the benches are going to get emptied in the second half. We may even have a running clock the way this one's going, Scott. That was Adrian Brown also on the stop.
Well, Isidore is a load. You can see why 9 different universities looking at this guy. 9 D1 offers, including New Mexico, UT San Antonio, UTEP, Tulsa, just to name a few, but it looks like he wants to go to Houston, and we'll see where he is.
I just wish they put the heights and weights on this roster because he looks like a load.
Well, they don't list him, but they claim that he's 290 and he can run a 4.840.
Timeout, Garland. That's the second timeout of the half.
Mike's bread is still dry as he calls the timeout, the referee there on the microphone. We'll take a break. 4:28 left in our first half. It's all Naaman Forest. 21-0 over Garland here on GRS TV. Garland's got to punt it away on 4th and long. They've got a punter who's punted it 21 and 26 yards on the previous 2. He could use a little bit more distance here as he waits at the 6. This one's a little higher, but returnable. And out quickly on the far sideline is McCartney. Let's see where they mark him as he hurdles somebody over there on the sideline. Looks like he might be a member of the track team after watching that hurdle. Well, we've also got a penalty marker.
It's funny you mentioned that because, you know, McCartney won the district in the triple jump. This guy,
really?
Watch him at the end of this thing. I mean, look at that. He just leaps right over the stick.
Scott, obviously you're never going to get caught short not doing your homework. Yeah. I mean, that's an impressive piece of information you came up with there.
As a freshman and a sophomore, wins the district in the triple jump.
During the kick, holding, receiving team. 10-yard penalty in the spot of the catch. First down.
Some of the numbers so far for Naaman: 125 yards total, 8 first downs, 116 on the ground on 15 carries. That's almost 10 yards a carry. They're just 2 out of 4 for 9 yards throwing it. They hadn't needed to throw it, although they could have completed a couple of bombs and made this a lot worse than it is.
You know, if you picked up your magazine in the summer, your Texas football magazine, they've got both of these two teams about middle of the pack in the district. I'm not sure where Naaman Forest is going to end up.
We're going to find out as the weeks go along.
Yeah,
but I agree with you.
I'll tell you what, I really like not just the scheme, you know, not just the individual players. I like the mindset that Coach Setberry has instilled in these guys.
You like the name Setberry is what you like.
And I like that too.
that's a traditional coaching family there.
Yeah, oh it is. You know, I mentioned his dad. He comes to most every game. I said, what does Dad say about the team? He said, I tell you this much. He says we're a lot better on defense now than we were 4 years ago. You know, you talked about it in the open.
Absolutely. They were horrible 4 years ago.
They won 1 game in 2 years.
Yeah, 1-19, and now they're fighting for a playoff spot for the second year in a row. In fact, they're pretty much in the playoffs. And with 4 teams going in a 7-team district that is top-heavy and bottom-heavy like this district is, I mean, they're a shoo-in. They'd have to have just massive injuries at this point.
Well, everybody's shooting for Saxe. There's no doubt. Rowlett, you know, they're in the mix too.
Yeah, I think it'll be Rowlett and Naaman Forest for that 2nd and 3rd spot, and then the rest will fill that 4th spot. Somebody out of the rest. Tyreek James breaks 1 tackle, just keeps the legs churning out to the 44. Got 7 out of very little there on first down.
Yeah, you feel bad though for Coach Danny Russell and this Garland Owl team. As you get to look back at this last play here. Nothing fancy. They are not open. I'll bet if they'd used more than 12 plays tonight, I'd be shocked.
Garland was in the state semifinals back in 1999. They were in the state quarterfinals 3-4 years ago. Then they've just fallen on hard times. Jeff Jordan left and is now on the coaching staff at Kansas, and they have not made the playoffs the last 2 years after making it the previous 12, Scott. This is traditionally the best football program in the Garland ISD, at least until the last couple of years.
Well, you know, not every program is going to be able to reload like your top 10 in the state. I mean, it just doesn't happen.
Saxe has come along since then.
They've come along.
You know, they have open enrollment in this district. Do you know that?
Oh, yes.
So it looks like Saxe and Rowlett are starting to get a lot of the football players, and Garland's just not getting the same group they used to.
As a coach, you've got to become more of a salesman.
Absolutely. In this district, you got to be a salesman. Broken tackle and free toward the far sideline. That's Donovan Lee. He's the backup running back, basically, and he's got a huge gain all the way to the Garland 20-yard line. That's a gain of 31 and another first down.
You know, there are positive things that result from that. There are also negative consequences. I like the skill guys for this team. They've got just a number of different backs that can carry the load.
And we're going to see a lot of them in the second half. I get the feeling we're going to see the bench in the second half. James just on the fullback dive. He's got what I like about Tyreek James, he's got the great body lean. Yeah. He's always leaning forward, and he's not a bad back either, but he's definitely north and south, Scott.
Well, the one thing Coach Sedbury likes about him is that when they give him the football, he doesn't lose any yards in this offense. An offense like this.
I don't think you and I would lose any yards in this offense.
That's true. But when you're running an offense like that, when you're playing in a phone booth down there, you have to get positive yards on first down, and James gives it to him.
James and Lee split backfield. It'll be a toss to Lee, who cuts it up and surges forward. They're going to give him enough for the first down. He needed the 10. They're going to give him the lean to the 9 and a first set of downs and a first and goal for the Rangers.
I'll tell you this much. You're up 21-0. It's the district opener. You're 4-0. You're usually intimidated by a team like Garland. It's not that way this year. This is a confidence builder for Naaman Forest.
James again, a late dive as he was tripped up and just shot forward to the 6 for 3 on first down. .217 and counting as halftime just around the corner. Naaman Forest trying to make it a 4-touchdown game, get a 28-0 lead to take to the locker room.
You know, you say they're not throwing it, but why throw when you're getting 10 a carry?
Besides that, they haven't thrown it well. They've had 2 open receivers deep down the middle, and they've overthrown both of them. Thomas Gutierrez has. Here's a new back around the left tackle and into the end zone for the touchdown. I believe that's Jalen Dickerson's first run of the night for 8 yards and 6 points.
Senior, typically a guy that lines up with a wide receiver spot. He's a vertical threat. He's speedy, and they're going to give him a bone right now. They're going to say, hey, why don't you run it down here, see if you can put it in the end zone. Does a really good job. Good vision right there. Took a hit, spins his way into the end zone.
63-yard drive, and they did it quickly. 6 plays. 2.5 minutes. The PAT is up, and GOOD. We got a timeout on the field, 1:52 before halftime. It's now Naaman Forest 28, Garland nothing on GRS TV. Scott Powell, the voice of GRS TV football, along with Scott Garner, the color man of SMU radio football. And Scott, again, great to have you. You're getting a little taste of Garland ISD football tonight, and you're impressed with Sedbury's boys.
Oh, I love what Naaman Forest is doing tonight.
Little squib kick is recovered cleanly by Duncan, who returns it, and he'll get it across the 35. That's where Garland, this is a great field position for a team that has started at their own 14, their own 31, their own 1, and their own 24. This is the best field position of the night for the Owls. And Scott, you look at the numbers, not much happening for the Garland offense.
Well, when your opponent has 178 yards and you have 9, things are not going your way.
You're lucky it's only 28-0, actually.
No, I mean, it feels like it's 50-0.
Here come the Owls.
You know, in a normal game, we'd be starting the second quarter right now.
Miller and Fennell in the I formation behind Garcia, who will give to the tailback. Fennell breaks it outside, runs over a tackler who hangs on and brings him down at the 42. That might be the best running play of the night I mean, that looked good right there from Fennell. They might want to keep him in there.
Like him, like that last run right there. Watch him. Great cut, uses his block, keeps his shoulder pad spread of the line of scrimmage, turns the corner, and then runs over the third guy to get there.
Delivers the blow.
Delivered the blow. That's right. And you mentioned forward lean a moment ago. Really nice run by Alonzo Fennell.
Great job of bouncing it to the outside. One receiver wide right to the short side. Fennell will just take the snap and carry. They liked what they saw too, and Russell said, let's run Fennell again, and he gets a first down, another quick 6.
Russell said, let's run Fennell, and then he asked, can he throw?
I don't know. I'd keep running the same stuff as long as it's working. They hadn't found anything that's worked yet, so let's keep letting Fennell run with it right to the short side of the field, I might add, with the ball on the right hash. Same formation. Got a big lineman in the backfield to lead the blocking. Fennell just takes the snap and cuts it around the corner, heads up the sidelines, got another first down.
He got hit right in the mouth. Oh, my gosh.
Oh, and he's feeling it too. Down. He is down. He tried to get up and went right back to the turf after that hit.
Gosh.
Goodness, I mean, that's a jawbreaker in a way. Hopefully it's not that bad. We're going to see it right here, folks. Look for it.
Oh. Maybe an elbow or a shoulder.
Yeah, it kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah, he didn't expect it.
Let's take a break. 33 seconds left in our first half. 28-0 Naaman Forest over Garland on GRS TV. The two Scotts are back with you, Powell and Garner. I'm Scott Powell, and we're glad you're with us here for the opening Friday night of district play. The injured player, Fennell, you see him there walking with the head trainer, Scott Smith, on the Garland sideline. Hopefully that young man's going to be okay, but they just took out, unfortunately, they had to take out the one player who's provided some offense for the Owls tonight. A couple of nice runs by Fennell.
Yeah, they were lining him up at a Wildcat, and that option is no longer there. I would be surprised if Fennell came out, even if he's okay. I would be surprised if they played him again.
Little reverse pitch, and stepping around one potential tackler. That is a new kid to my depth chart. I'm going to have to look that one up. That is Trent Smith, wide receiver on the right side, who came around and took the pitch. And I like the fact they're trying to find something that works, Scott, but that only went for 1 yard.
Yeah, it was interesting. The way he went out of bounds, he almost ran backwards. I'm not sure if he lost sight of time. I know he wanted to get out of bounds, but it seemed like he could have gotten a couple of extra yards there. They run a little reverse. He gets a crack back from one of his linemen right there, and then is able to get to the edge and then runs out of bounds, almost avoiding the contact.
Was Kyle Dakin with the crack back that Scott referred to. 3rd down and 4, probably 4-down territory. Only 20 seconds, though, left in the half. Garcia's going to go deep down the far sideline. A little jump ball, incomplete. Could not hit his intended receiver, and also good defense from the Rangers. And that was, boy, it looks like Fennell's number, but be surprised if that was Fennell. No, that is number 8, Devontae Duncan.
I wouldn't be surprised. Just a short drop. They just throw the fade here, trying to get a jump ball, but the defense had the advantage there. Again, the defensive penetration hasn't allowed Garcia to really get his timing tonight.
Why not go for it on 4th and 4? Garcia, quick little stop route. It's caught and enough for the first down. As Naaman Forest was playing way off of the receiver, just letting him make the catch. It wasn't an easy catch, as Devontae Duncan's not a tall kid. He had to reach up and pull it in, and he did at the 39.
They've got a timeout. They're going to use it right here, but a good catch.
Timeout, Garland.
Why don't we just
3rd and final timeout.
Scott, why don't we look at the stats real quick, since we're about at the end of the half, and when we come back with you, we'll be starting the second half once this first half ends. But Let's look at these some of these first half numbers real quick. First downs 12-3, Naaman Forest, 188 to 28 yards with the total yard advantage, and a lot of that is rushing the ball.
Yeah, this Garland team finding something here. They lost their spark, though, in Fennell, who went down just a moment ago. That's unfortunate, but I like how Garcia is at least being allowed here to kind of spread it around a little bit. They're going to let him throw. They're not playing press coverage there on the corners, which is helping him out in this situation right here. They've got about one play left.
Gutierrez 2 out of 4 for 9 yards. Hadn't had to throw it much. Tyreek James 122 yards on 15 carries for Naaman Forest. Donovan Lee 2 for 32. Sheldrick Davis 6 carries for 20, leading the Garland ground game. Deep pass again down the far sideline, double coverage, and it's going to be picked off on the final play of the first half, as Garcia just threw it up for grabs and the Rangers picked it off. And let's give that young man credit before we go to the locker room. That was McCartney, DeVincier McCartney with the interception, going both ways for Naaman Forest.
And he is really athletic. This is a guy that had that big punt return early, and he has been a starter on the varsity since he was a freshman. And to do that for a 6A program, that tells you what kind of kid he is. Man, is he athletic.
A couple of more numbers before we go to our halftime. That's really about it. The key number, though, I need to give you on the team stats, 179 yards rushing for Naaman Forest on 22 carries. They also only have 2 penalties for 25 yards, so they have not hurt themselves at all. And Garland with only 24 yards rushing.
I was going to say, when you look back at that, it almost looked like Duncan pushed off, and McCartney was still able to get the pick.
Very impressive Naaman Forest here in the first half. Let's go to break. It's Naaman Forest 28 and Garland nothing. When we come back with you, Scott Garner and I will have the kickoff of the second half here on GRS TV. Scott Powell, Scott Garner back with you, about ready to start the second half. Garland is going to receive the second half kickoff, trailing 28-0 and looking for some offense. So we're totally dominated by Naaman Forest in the first half. It's a short kick and a fair catch at the 25 by Henderson. And field position's been one of the Owls' problems, as their best field position to start any series in the first half was their own 35-yard line. And this one will be the 25.
You'll see Garland coming out now. Again, as we mentioned, they're 0-4. They were 3-7 last year. Angel Garcia gave him a little bit. He was pretty good on that last drive. Hopefully his confidence is up, and they can start to try to loosen up this Naaman Forest defense that came out just in spectacular fashion. Probably the most aggressive defensive line I've seen in a long time.
Garcia's out in shotgun with a two-back set behind him. He turned the hand off and could have easily just handed it off to a Naaman Forest lineman.
Well, run blitz right there by Brown, that sophomore backer. And, man, he was great as a freshman. He's just gotten better and better as his career has continued. He just came right through the A-gap. He almost took the handoff on that play. Yeah,
I mean, it's gotten to the point Garland's having trouble just handing it off, so why not just snap it in the Wildcat and run with it and don't hand it off, which we saw a little bit late in the first half. Garcia with a back on either side on second down and 13. He'll roll to his left, throws it, it's caught. And out of bounds immediately after making the catch was Davion Jones.
Rare pass connection right there to Davion Jones. And he was coming back from an injury, and you watch the timing here. Right-handed quarterbacks have a hard time throwing and rolling out to their left, and that time just off the hands there.
Yeah, they called that an incompletion, Scott. Called it off. Must have dropped it right over there on the sideline. 3rd down and 13 from the 23. Same play. This is more the tunnel screen and angling back toward the quarterback, making the catch, and a pretty good gain out of it to the 32-yard line. And on the receiving end that time was Sheldrick Davis.
First time tonight they've run the true tunnel. They throw it to the number 1 receiver over there to the left, and he's got a couple of blockers in front of him that time. Good technique right there, and stays behind his blockers. Nice job by Garland Sheldrick Davis. He's just 5'9", 160, and he's got good experience, though.
But short of the first down, Garland's going to have to punt for the 4th time tonight. Low snap. Pretty good kick, but returnable. A low and light drive, actually. They got the coverage down there that time and unable to return it, and they're going to mark it out at the 43. 25-yard punt, right at his average on the night. Just a reminder of upcoming games. Our next Friday night game, well, let me put my hands on that, Scott. I'll have that for you in just a moment.
Well, we'll get a chance to see what Naaman Forest will do coming out. They've got a 4-score lead. They ran it a bunch in that first half. I would be very surprised if they threw it at all here in the 3rd quarter.
It is a handout. James breaks a couple of tackles. First down all the way inside Garland territory to the 37-yard line. The defense was there initially, but a couple of shoestring attempts came up empty in the linebacker area.
And you can see the backers came up about a step and a half, and when the inside backer got washed inside, there was nobody there. I thought it was just a pretty good effort by Jacob Holcomb, the 5'11", 180-pound senior, to run him down. Otherwise, that's a touchdown.
Yeah, Holcomb with the tackle from behind. It is a gain of 18 yards and a fresh set of downs at the 37. Play action, roll to the right. Gutierrez drops it off. I think, yeah, incomplete. It skipped in off the turf into the hands of James. That's no good. 2nd and 10 coming.
Just James on a little quick out of the backfield, kind of circling out right there. Didn't have anybody to chip. And if they get any throw at all, he's got a chance with a block up field maybe to turn the corner and head toward the end zone.
Yeah, it was wide open green spaces over there on the right side.
That's funny. We talked about Naaman Forest not really wanting to throw the ball that much. But, it's still relatively early in the game, your early 3rd quarter. And I'm sure that Marvin Setberry just told his guys, hey, we still have to treat this like a nothing game. It's almost going to be like practice. We've got to execute.
Gutierrez hands this one off on the sweep right, although he cuts it up. And that's a new ball carrier for the Rangers. That is Jalen Stokes, his first carry of the night.
We've seen about 4 or 5 different running backs, especially since the midway portion of the 2nd quarter, just trying to get outside. Gets a nice kick-out block. You saw there, number 51, top of the screen, Marcus Williams, with a good block to allow him to get 3 or 4 yards that has set up a makeable 3rd down and 6 here.
Holcomb with another assisted tackle there, along with Evan Gonzalez, who's had a big night defensively for Garland. 3rd down and 6. A little misdirection in the backfield. They're going to call this play off with a penalty marker, kill the play.
They might have had 2 guys in motion.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense, number 14. 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
The words of Mike Drybread, the referee tonight. 5-yard walk-off back to the 38.
Coach Setberry, who, again, is in his 4th year as the head coach here at Naaman Forest, his 11th as a head coach. He's been at a number of different places. He used to be at a private school, in fact. Coached over in Fort Worth a little bit.
Scott, interesting thing, the down box has not moved. Now they finally catch the mistake and move it to the 38 also. This is a 3rd down run right up the middle and stacked up, maybe for a loss. Actually, it is going to be a loss of a yard. Best defensive play of the night for the Garland Owls there on the simple give to James.
Seeing Davion Jones getting a little excited there, trying to get his crowd into it with the alligator arms after making that play. Real conservative call there on third down. They understand the change, understand what's going on here. Fourth down, 11 to go.
Yeah, very conservative inside Garland territory. And I expect a punt on 4th and 11, but so far it looks like they're going to run a play.
You know, to run what they did on third led you to believe they were going to punt on fourth.
Absolutely. Gutierrez is throwing it to the near side. Little shovel pass, and this is going to go for 6 points. And that is Tyreek James who scores the touchdown. Who caught the ball?
McCartney caught it, hook and ladder to Adams.
And it was Adams, number 6.
What a great job right there. Quick toss, throw it to McCartney. There's Adams. No one expecting that. You rarely see that executed that well at any level.
Boy, they executed it perfectly there. And the extra point is up and good. Or do we have a penalty?
It looks like there's a penalty with Coach Sedbury out there on the numbers.
An eligible man downfield. The tight end was covered up by the wideout. Still fourth down.
You know, if you're the tight end, you must be the only guy on the outside on the line. Apparently a wide receiver was lined up on the line. It's the wide receiver, it's the flanker's job to check with that line judge every time before the snap. And Coach Sedbury said, hey, he checked. What's the deal?
Here is the replay, Scott.
Didn't get a. We'll have to look at that pre-snap to see if he was covered up, but I thought it was a great job right there. I thought the timing between McCartney and Adams was special.
Yeah, you don't run it any better than they
No.
did. So now it's going to be 4th and even longer. They need 16 from the 43.
He's upset with that, but I guarantee you, regardless of the penalty, when Coach Sedbury gets into the film room tomorrow, he's going to be very happy with the execution of that play. And really, that hook and ladder is not necessarily for this game. In this situation, they'll use that again down the road.
Gutierrez going to go deep down this near side. A diving try, no good, as McCartney tried to come up with a catch, but is just a little bit overthrown. And that's 3 times they've tried to go deep tonight, Scott, and all 3 have been overthrown.
Now, I want you to think about this. That's a great shot downfield to McCartney, number 11. What an athletic attempt. I mean, he is head first and full speed. He got a hand on that. I didn't think he was going to get there. But
I didn't even know he got a hand on it. That's impressive.
You look at McCartney as he comes to the bench here. Last year, number 11 for Naaman Forest, Devassia McCartney was the MVP. There he is. He was the MVP in the district at his wideout spot. And keep in mind, this is a team that runs the wing T. That is hard to do. He doesn't get as many targets as most.
That is impressive. It's not easy for a wide receiver to be the MVP. Handoff for the Garland Owls on 1st and 10. Here comes a late flag. This could be holding. The ball carrier was Sheldrick Davis for no gain.
Holding. Offense. Number 76. Penalties decline. 2nd down.
I know this much. When you hold a guy, you can't let him get the tackle.
Yeah, I mean, at least get your money's worth.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, this has just been penetration that has been unrelenting all night. Every snap, they've got 1, 2, if not 3 orange jerseys in the backfield.
2nd and 10 from the 43. I formation this time behind Garcia. Angel with a long count. He'll just turn and give to Davis. Pretty good hole initially, as he picked up a quick 8 to the 49 before he was chopped down in a hurry. Yeah, and that looked like Negrin.
Well, he's been all over the place tonight. Negrin's a good one. Watching this again.
Watch the way he comes out of nowhere here. That was a nice hole, maybe the best block of the night. And then here comes Negrin.
The wing pulled in there, and then a really nice form tackle. You mentioned DJ White got in there too, and I'll tell you, White is a really powerful guy. He's a great textbook tackler, and we just saw it.
3rd and 2. Clemens bangs up in there, bounces off of one blocker, and gets the first down over left guard at the 46. Garland with a little bit of a drive working here.
Yeah, I thought Brendan Clark had a pretty good job. I thought he did a pretty good job in the middle there. He got lower than his defender and was able to push him back a little bit to deny that penetration.
Garland trailing 28-0. We're at the halfway mark of the 3rd quarter, almost. 6:20 and counting. Owls get to the line with 3 receivers out to the left. That's the short side of the field. Garcia will just turn and hand it to, this is a new running back. And that is Holcomb with his first carry of the night, Jerron Holcomb.
Yeah, Holcomb, probably the best athlete of all of the wide receivers. They've decided to run him up into the running back spot. Remember, Alonzo Fennell had the injury right before the first half came to an end.
Yeah.
And we speculated we probably won't see him the rest of the game, and I haven't seen him yet.
Kind of got hit in the mouth late in the second quarter. 2nd and 10 Owls. One back set this time. And a little handoff to Sheldrick Davis over left tackle. He gets a yard, and there's a penalty flag. This could be another holding against the Owls.
As misdirection again, and it probably will be holding.
Oh, chop block.
Another chop block. This is the second one of those we've seen tonight. But when you have the mismatch that you have, you're going to get those.
Now, if Naaman
Chop
took
block
the play, it'd be
on
3rd
the
and 10.
Numbers 51 and 19. It's a 15-yard penalty.
So they're going to
Second
take the 2nd and 25 instead of the 3rd and 10.
I can promise you in that locker room, as you see the misdirection here, they fake the dive, and they give it to the running back coming around the left side there. As we saw Davis get it again. But I can promise you, as we see Danny Russell there in the middle of your screen, you see Coach, I can promise you he let that offensive line have it in the locker room, because every play, those two defensive tackles were getting into the backfield.
2nd and 25. Garcia looking to throw. He's in trouble, but he moves the pocket and moves out to the left. A good gain. He's going to get all the way for the first down inside the 35 of Naaman Forrest as he dives for it and gets it. What a run. First time we've seen Garcia on the run like that tonight.
You know, it was almost as if, the defensive ends are just running upfield, and a pretty decent block there at the end to free him from the pocket. And as soon as he was able to step up, he had some green in front of him. It's the first time tonight that he's been able to do that. That's been his best run and the team's best run of the evening.
1st and 10 at the 33. Gives it to Clements, who pounds in there over left guard and gets a short gain of 3 to the 30.
Scott, I don't care if you win a game or you lose a game. There's always a chance to get better. And Angel Garcia tonight is really able to learn how to operate when things aren't going his way. And he's making some really good decisions here in the second half. And he looks to be more in control than we've seen him probably the whole night.
Clemens and Davis in the backfield. It's going to be a little swing lateral to Davis. He's in jail and down for a loss. Back at the 35-yard line. Naaman Forrest read that beautifully.
Yeah, they did. Negrin stayed home that time. That play worked in the first half, but that time Garland unable to get to the edge. They just swing it out to the back. But nothing doing that time for Sheldrick Davis.
Even tried to reverse his field and got downed immediately. A loss of 5, 3rd and 12. 4-down territory here for the Owls. They got 2 plays to get 12. Pretty good drive that started back at the 43 on a night where they've been struggling for offense. Here comes a blitz. Garcia tries to step up and steps right into a tackle at the 39. Boy, they brought the house there, and Angel had no chance.
Brought the house, sent some guys vertical. I'm a little bit surprised you didn't see the underneath drag to try to bail him out, given the amount of pressure.
Yeah, he didn't have a lot of choices, did he?
No, he didn't. He was looking. He's trying to go through his reads, but, man, that pocket broke down quickly. I mean.
Yeah, there wasn't any dump-off available, was there?
No, and Brown, Adrian Brown was coming off the edge, number 34. You see him there in your screen. He was coming off the edge so hard, nobody really even had a chance to chip him to redirect him.
4th and 16, they're going. Why not? Trailing 28-0, but they got to get all the way to the 23-yard line for the first down. Here comes another blitz. This time they pick it up, throw over the middle, incomplete. Looked like he had an open receiver, but out of the blue came to knock it away DJ White, and it looked like they were going to complete that one at the first glance.
And Naimi almost had the interception right there in the middle. Millara was there too. But I'm a little bit surprised that Garland was able to not get much there. He threw it early. It was just a little quick slant over the middle against the zone defense. And I must admit, I thought Millara was dropping a little too deep. He cheated almost on that play.
Scott, that's one time the offensive line and the backs blocking picked up the blitz and did a great job of creating a pocket for Garcia.
I thought so. Even still, though, you saw the inexperience of Garcia and the hot feet.
So the Garland drive ends at the 39 of Naaman. Naaman Forest takes over with 2:39 left in our third quarter and leading 28-0.
You know, this quarterback is a junior, but remember, he doesn't have a whole lot of experience, and the Garland quarterback is the third-string quarterback.
Gutierrez will hand it off on the sweep left. Lots of running room here for Dickerson inside the 50, the 40, still going, and he's finally going to be slowed down and stopped about the 28-yard line. Just a simple sweep left, and they got 33 yards out of it.
They use him as a wide receiver, except when they're up by 28 points. They run what's called the buck sweep, as you see both guards pulling play side. And that time Dickerson was running with some authority. This game, I don't care how you draw it up. It always comes down to who can tackle and who can block, and Garland didn't tackle very well at the end of that play.
No, and before they had a chance to tackle, there was plenty of good blocking and just not much tackle available until about 30 yards downfield. 1st and 10, Rangers at the Garland 28. 3 backs in the backfield, a little cross buck back there, finally handed off, and good yardage up the middle. Adams inside the 15, and another first down at the Garland 12-yard line. Boy, I like the little cross buck. They really confuse you with that full house backfield on where they're going to hand the ball.
It's extremely confusing. The best part about
especially to me.
Yeah, no kidding. I'll guarantee you it's hard to pick up where the ball is, and it is for the linebackers too. That's why they run stuff like that. And I promise you, every team in the district will be looking at this Naaman Forest team. They're looking at it going, wow, I didn't realize they were actually that good. We knew they were 4-0, but not this good. 1st
and 10 at the 12. 2 backs this time. Quick hitter up the middle. James all the way to the 5-yard. It looked like he might score, but he got to the, they're going to mark it at the 6. Good pickup of 7 on first down.
We talked about Tyreek James and his running ability. You know, he's really kind of a quiet kid, Scott. He'll walk the hallways at school, and people will turn around and say, hey, is that really Jane? That's really him? He doesn't seem to be that kind of a bruising back.
Did you go to class with the kids this week? I mean, you really do your homework, Mr. Garner. Here's a handoff. Breaking a tackle and scoring is Adams over left guard. Touchdown, Naaman Forest.
Well, they made that one look easy. All on the ground, and you already talked about the misdirection. And you can see right when he passes the line of scrimmage that the linebackers are just not there. They don't know who's got the ball.
I thought it was Fennell, but I may have misread the number. But somebody had a shot. Actually, I now know who it was. It was Ruben Zamora who had a shot at him about a yard in the backfield and missed him. And then the blocking took over from there. Here comes the point after attempt. And Roque with the kick. As we see Mr. Adams on the sideline as he arrives off of a touchdown, and the kick was good. Timeout on the field, 49 seconds left in our third quarter. New score, Naaman Forest 35, Garland nothing here on GRS TV. Quick drive for Naaman Forest, 61 yards in just 4 plays. Another fair catch on the kickoff by Garland. Second one of the night for Henderson, and the Owls will start at their own 29-yard line. They've been pinned back all night long.
Look at the numbers as we talked about, Scott. And, the only one that really counts is that scoreboard, 35-0, but it almost feels like it's 50 or 60-0. That's how in control this Naaman Forest team has been tonight. 267 total yards for the Rangers, 128 for Garland. But how about of the 267, 258 of those have been on the ground.
Yeah, they haven't needed to pass it, and when they have, they've missed on some deep ones. It could have been a lot worse than it is so far. Little handoff on 1st and 10 to Montana Miller, and he gets a yard to the 30, where he is cut down. Good play, good open field tackle there by DJ White.
Take a look at the replay here. That left guard didn't exactly know where to go. Brandon Clark was just trying to figure out who to block that time. Garland lucky that they were able to pick up a yard.
Gilberto Malara also there for the stop. 2nd and 9, Owls. One receiver right, 2 wings, and a handoff. And boy, the defender almost took the handoff away from Montana Miller, who was dropped for, back to the original line of scrimmage, just a yard lost. But boy, the surge into the backfield is just unstoppable.
Negrin there again with great penetration. You watch it there, and he just knifes in there. And you watch him, number 12 got in there. I think there were 3 guys in the backfield upon the snap.
It's going to do it for the 3rd quarter. Naaman Forest 35, Garland nothing. Naaman looking to start district play undefeated. They're undefeated on the season. We'll be back with the 4th quarter after this on GRS TV. Scott Powell, Scott Garner. We're headed to the 4th quarter. It's all Naaman Forest 35-0 tonight over winless Garland. Undefeated and a winless team going at it, and the predictable is happening. Garcia going to run here on 3rd down, spins away from a tackler, and did he get the 1st down? No. He is just a yard short, but a great effort by Angel Mark Garcia, his 2nd good run here in the 2nd half.
Yeah, he's shown the ability to move with his feet as he rolls out to the right here, eludes the defensive tackle. That was key, but then spun out of the ankle attempt and gets close to a 1st down.
As my partner said last night, Scott, sometimes when you make a spin like that, you don't know what to expect on the hit that you're going to get. Garcia showing some guts there as the quarterback. Gets the handoff, but just barely, and it's going to be stacked up for a loss on 4th down. And Naaman Forest is held one more time. Their defense impressive on the stat sheet coming into the night, giving up just 6.5 points a game, and they got a shutout working. Scott, in their games, defensively, Naaman Forest has given up 6 points, and had a shutout. So I'll find it here, but they gave up like 20 points in one game, and the other games have been either 6 points or no points allowed.
I don't know what's better. I mean, the skill position players that they have on offense or that defensive front. This is a really good Naaman Forest defense. I know everybody's looking at Saxe. I understand it. I know that you've got a couple of teams at the top of this district, and Naaman Forest was picked to finish in the middle of the pack. But this defense continues to improve, and if they continue to do that the next 2 or 3 weeks, look out.
Gutierrez spins and hands it off over left guard. Pretty good surge there from the Garland defense. And look who made the tackle one more time. He has been in almost every tackle for Garland tonight. Evan Gonzalez.
Yeah, Gonzalez, very perceptive. That's one of the reasons why you see him around the football all the time, kind of a reverse out by Thomas Gutierrez, as we see there on the handoff.
Naaman Forest has given up 6 points, no points. No points tonight. The most they've given up was 14 to Berkner and a 20-14 win, excuse me.
Defense is so crucial, and it always starts with the defensive line, and the D-line for Naaman Forest really showed off tonight. 2nd
and 9, little sweep right here on the handoff. And this is, who was that, Scott?
I didn't see it. I was watching the 2 guards right there, Vasquez and Anderson. They were both pulling on the buck sweep. And the backside guard really got out there in a hurry.
Jalen Stokes, the ball carrier.
Okay.
He was not on the original depth chart tonight, but there'll probably be a lot of people playing here that were not on the depth chart.
Watch both guards right there, 54 and 56. They get out in front of Stokes. He couldn't quite turn the corner. I still thought Garland got there at the point of attack pretty well considering how the guards executed.
1st and 10 at the 25. It's to dive, handoff, break a tackle. Secondary, he's gone. Touchdown, Naaman Forrest, and that was Jordan Bowes.
Man.
Boy, he's a quick hitter. I don't even think the defense saw him coming.
No, they didn't. Bowes, a 2-year starter on defense. He's just a junior. He's the best linebacker that this Naaman Forrest team has, but wait till he gets past the point of attack. There wasn't a linebacker there because of all the misdirection. This team is well coached. They're executing tonight, and they're really letting Garland have it. They're just almost taking out a decade's worth of frustration on these Owls.
Quarterback Thomas Gutierrez, a pretty good handler of everything in that backfield, also on the fakes. Extra point is up, plenty deep, plenty good. Yes, good. 10:01 left in our 4th quarter. It's now Naaman Forrest 42 and Garland nothing here on GRS TV. Well, as you can see, Naaman Forrest about to kick off for what, the 6th time tonight, leading 42-0. Trying to, now they want to hold on to their shutout here in the 4th quarter. This one's going to be returned, no fair catch here. And on the return is Duncan. And this will be their best field position of the night to start a drive at their own 38.
How about Jordan Bowes making another good tackle on special teams down there?
Yeah,
Naaman Forrest.
Yeah, he just has a touchdown, and they put him on the kickoff team, and he goes down and makes a tackle. I mean, that's a team player right
these
there.
guys are selling out now. We joked about it in the first half, but I'm telling you, Coach Sedbury's got something here, and it's not just about skill players. It's not just about athletes. It's about playing team football, and it all starts with that defense, particularly the defensive line. They are strong.
Garland Owls just looking to put some points on the board. Already going to lose this one, trailing 42-0. Early 4th quarter. Angel Garcia in shotgun. Going to pitch it to Holcomb, who was in motion. Gets to the sideline, turns it up, avoids a tackler, and pretty good run there by Jaron Holcomb. They're going to mark his forward progress stopped at the, we're still waiting on the headlinesman. They're going to put it at the 46. That's a gain of 8.
Hey, that 5 technique, that defensive end, too, I thought he did a good job of getting out there. You watch this. Holcomb gets to the edge and ends up outracing that defensive end, Negron, to the sideline. That's hard to do. Holcomb's an athlete, though. 2nd
down and 2, Owls. Garcia play action. He options down the line and pitches. This will be a 1st down run across midfield. They haven't been in Naaman Forrest territory a lot tonight, but they are here off of the run of Devontae Duncan.
You know, that's the first time Duncan's come around the backside like that on the option pitch. Well, that is old school right there. It wasn't a great pitch. He had to reach behind him to get it.
No, but it's good timing by Garcia as he read the play well.
I thought so, too, and they end up moving the sticks. Good job pulling that one out.
Gain of 5 and a fresh set of downs. A little fake in the backfield, and now they're going to sweep it right with, that is Sheldrick Davis. Run out of bounds at the 43. Another good pickup on 1st down. Garland putting together another drive. They've had a few little drives tonight. They've had to go long distances. Again, their best field position of the 37. They put some series together, but it's been between the 30s and not the 10s or the goal lines.
You notice Davis right there, number 5 in your replay. He was able to get to the edge, and I know that's going to be a little cause for concern for Naaman.
Clemens into the secondary for a first down run as the battering ram all the way to the Naaman 33. I mean, this kid's built like a bowling ball, Scott.
Yeah, he is, and I promise you, as you look at the orange jerseys, they're still fighting out there. They want the shutout, but Austin Clemens, who's a big fullback for this Garland team, he's doing his best to break that goose egg.
5'8", 235. I'd be on blood pressure medicine at that size, but Austin Clemens carries it well, and he carries on first down to the 31-yard line.
You know, he's small. He's less than 5'10", as you mentioned, Scott, but he's a power runner around the 250 mark. Not all that fast, but he's going to get his shoulders square, and he's going to run between the tackles. He'll be a nice change-up for this team.
You can tell the intent of the Owls is to get some points on the board as they have not changed their game plan. They know it's over. They're just getting some practice in and hopefully get some points out of this. Sheldrick Davis on a little inside reverse, and he's going to be chopped down. They're going to give him the line of scrimmage, but that play never had a chance from the get-go. Iemi was one of the disruptors.
We talked about it going in as you watch the replay here. Again, more misdirection. Wow. And I keep watching 76 Brandon Clark really working hard from that offensive line spot. But I'll tell you what, Naaman Forest came in here with the attitude that they were going to put the pedal to the metal, and they've done it. Garland's usually been the one to do that to them.
Garcia rolls right and fires to the sideline just a little bit too high and too hard for the intended receiver. Almost took his head off there. Just thrown a little bit too hard to a receiver who's not very tall, and that was Caleb Williams, the intended receiver.
Well, if this Garland team is going to put up any points, you've got a big 4th down and 10 coming up. And
yeah, this is pretty big right here. They may not get this field position again.
No, they may not. They may get the ball back again, but you're right. They may not get the field position.
It's funny you say that. I was getting ready to say they may not get the ball back again.
Yeah.
The way Naaman Forest holds onto the football. Here it is. They need inside the 25. Throw. Is it picked off? No, but it's incomplete. Naaman had a chance to pick it, but they've held one more time and will take over. Don't see any penalty markers.
Boy, the 2 deep coverage has really paid off, too, for this Naaman Forest team. They've run zone coverage most of the night. They do it here again. The safety just stepping up. And I think that was McCartney. Wasn't that him again? Stepping up, almost had the pick.
He goes both ways. Maybe the best player on the team, and he goes both ways.
I think so.
Garcia just had to try and fit that one in on 4th and 10.
Trying to force it a little bit. That'll probably do it. Naaman Forest will go back to the ground game. 67 yards away here, 6:28 to go.
42-0. You probably know what's coming here. It's going to be a steady diet of running game.
No doubt.
We'll see what Garland's made of if they play to the final whistle here. Here's a toss right. And there's one missed tackle, but good effort. The running back, though, is going to get the first down at the 45-yard line. And again, that was Stokes, Jalen Stokes on the carry. Just student body right on the toss sweep.
Well, Coach Sedberry, one of the keys for him, and you watch this little toss sweep to the edge, trying to get the corner, does so. Thought there might be a horse collar there for a moment, but it slipped off.
And an unsuccessful horse collar to boot.
But anything that Naaman Forest has wanted to do tonight, they've done. I go back to the
Scott, I got a question.
Though.
Can you get a horse collar when you don't make the tackle?
Can't do it.
Anyway, go ahead.
When you miss the collar, they're not going to throw it.
Yeah, I mean, what is it then? A pony collar? 1st and 10. Little SMU reference there.
There you go.
And a play to the 45. This could be another first down for Naaman Forest.
I was going to say one of the keys for Sedberry coming in was to play disciplined football, and they have done that from the outset. They have executed tonight. I think that's been the most impressive part about Naaman Forest. I know they're big, I know they're strong, but they really have great timing, and you can tell they're well coached. This is a very unusual offense to run, though, in 2017.
Eduardo Contreras took that carry for 10 yards in the first down. He's a new back in there along with Stokes. Contreras will get it again, and wow, he was hog-tied. I'd give you a score of about 9.8 on that tackle. That was a beauty at the 42-yard line.
No doubt about it. They continue to go with that wing T look.
I expected a rope to come out of his hands after that tackle. Who was that? Who was that masked man? Well, I'm sorry we missed that, but nice little open field tackle, hog-tied tackle. You know, that might have been Davion Jones in the middle there. 2nd down and 6. It's going to be a keeper. Gutierrez in trouble as he crossed the 40. He's going to be well short. No, that's a backup in there. That's a backup quarterback, isn't it?
It's Preston Jones, the junior.
They've really emptied the bench here late in the 4th quarter. First run for Jones to the 37, 3rd and 3. Make it 2 coming.
Certainly don't want to take any chances. I know that Naaman Forest was concerned about this ball game, but they have come out in convincing fashion to unload on a decimated Garland team with respect to injuries.
This will be a toss sweep. A little hurdle across the 30. Now he's inside the 20, still going. Very impressive run there by the backup.
Get a replay here again. They're just trying to get to the edge. They're trying to beat some of these underclassmen that have come in. What a really athletic play, too, by that backup. Gets to the sideline. We don't have him on the roster, but this is a guy that they don't use too much. They may start this is a game where you may find some guys that have improved in practice the last 3 or 4 weeks that you can use in certain situations in the latter stages of district play.
Look like Swade Gibson, number 42. He's the middle back in the 3-back set. Handoff up the middle. This will be a touchdown, and on the run, Nicholas Negron, who's played a lot of defense tonight. There's 2 Negrones. Is that the same one?
No.
That must be the brother.
Yeah, and I'll tell you this much. I haven't seen this many guys play both offense and defense since the last time I saw a 3A game. They have a number of players that play on both sides of the ball.
Darum Negron is number 12. That was number 9. Here comes the point after for the 49th point. You know, they kept it on the ground, not trying to run up the score, and Naaman went down the field easily with backup running back and backup quarterback. Kick is good. 2:52 left in our ball game. Naaman Forest 49, Garland nothing on GRS TV. Coming up next, our next games here on GRS TV this coming Thursday, we'll have North Garland and Naaman Forest on October the 5th from Williams Stadium. And then Friday night, Saxe and Lakeview Centennial on October the 6th. So come back with us for those two, our next 2 games on GRS. Here's the kickoff. Return right up the middle from the goal line out to the 25. That is Holcomb for Garland.
Well, you're going to go back and look at this tape. And I know it's 49-0, but it's not that close.
No,
I promise
really
you. I mean, this has been an absolute undressing here tonight for this Naaman Forest team.
And mainly because of the dominance on the defensive side also.
Man, they were averaging giving up, 6 points a game coming in?
Yep.
That's going down.
Yep, looking for their second shutout. In 2 other games, they've given up 6 points. Most in one game was 20 to Berkner, or 14 to Berkner. They won it 20-14. There's another tackle in the backfield. The defense continues to dominate.
Those 2 techniques. Lawrence in there now, number 74. My goodness.
They're almost 4 techniques. They're so big.
Look at it. They're big and athletic.
Yeah, look at that.
You can't
Lawrence,
be big and athletic.
No, Lawrence just defeats the man in front of him. He made it look so easy.
Man, I mean, he's in for a guy that size. Look at, he is in shape. This guy has good, strong legs. He plays low to the ground. I got to give credit to Coach Sedberry. He's gotten these big guys in shape.
Which isn't easy in this weather, although it's cooled off a little bit this weekend. Sheldrick Davis on the sweep left, and he finally just collapses in the arms of a couple of defenders at the 23. 3rd and 10 coming. So we're down to a minute 40 and counting in this ball game. Garland does have 3 timeouts left, but I think they're interested in running that clock out. They're the Naaman Forest cheerleaders, and they're orange and green, just like the team, although it's mostly orange and white for the football players tonight. 3rd and 10 at the 23. Garcia still in there at quarterback. He'll keep it on the option, cut it up, pretty good gain, and he finally is spilled across the 30. Got to be a couple of yards short of the first down as we near the minute mark. Well, Scott, thanks for coming over from SMU football and doing this, and we may see a little bit more of you as we go along. But are the Ponies for real? They look like they get a little bit better every year, and is this maybe the best team they've had in a while?
Yeah, certainly the best team they've had under Chad Morris's direction. Got UConn this weekend, and it'll be a good game.
I take it that's a home game?
It will be.
Yeah, it's a pretty good trip if it wasn't.
Yeah.
I have a feeling you'd be leaving right now. First down run again, Garcia. We've shown a little bit of running ability from Garcia here in the second half. He's had 3 or 4 long runs.
He's had to run. He's been beaten up tonight for sure. He'll be bruised in the morning.
He's got pretty good quickness though when he takes off on the option keeps.
I like he grew up here in the second half. This game has helped him.
At least running the ball, he looks like a different player here in the second half. He's got time to throw. Down the seam, it is caught for another first down. Damian Jones on the reception, one of the original starters. They're going to give him the 44. 10 seconds clock stop for the first down. You'd think Garland's interested in getting down the field if they can, but we're now down to 6. Clock is running. They may not get another play off.
There's Jones right there on that last catch. He's one of their young sophomore receivers, but that is going to do it.
Again, Scott, enjoyed it. Thanks for doing this tonight, and hopefully we'll see you down the road, and good luck to the SMU Mustangs.
Thank you so much.
And you also do the women's play-by-play.
Yes.
That's just around the corner, and good luck with all that. Thanks for doing this.
Yes, sir.
Again, our final score tonight here from Williams Stadium. Naaman Forest moves to 5-0, 1-0 in district play with a 49-0 win over Garland, who remains winless at 0-5 and an 0-1 start in district play. For Scott Garner and our entire crew here at GRS TV, I'm Scott Powell. So long, everybody.